I think we had very simple tactics. We just have to go there and play our football and stay focused, I think.
Talent, I said to Ronza that it was important the first 20 minutes or 30 minutes so of the game because the previous two matches you conceded in the 6th and the 9th minute respectively. Does that boost psychologically when you keep a clean sheet going as the game progresses?
For us, we believe that we had the stamina and the legs to go all out. So I believe that the coach told us that we mustn't concede in the first 25 minutes until water break. We'll be able to counter-attack them. As you saw that we are breaking through their lines and they're playing with three. So we told our wingers, Oswin and Masego, to stay wide all the time because whenever we get the ball in attacking transition, we'll be able to get them and they're going to be our outlets.
How important was the communication with the front three as well? Because there were a lot of chances in the first half especially. But as I said to Tape,
having the right attitude and competing and going all out and playing our football, because the coach told us that we must play our football and have fun. Whatever happens in the results, we must be proud of ourselves. So I believe that the coach is also happy and us as players, we're also happy. So it's something to take on from now and continue where we left off.
And finally, the coach, some were saying might be his last game. He stays on. I'm sure you guys are still playing for him as well.
Yeah, it's very important to play for coach also, but let's not forget our country. So thanks to all South Africans that are still up right now and supported us all the way. So thank you, Mzansi. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you.
Wow.
Absolutely love that. Evidence Makgopa there as well as Talent Mbata. Just speaking on the importance of the victory here today, playing for Coach Hugo Broos, but also South Africa. And perhaps this is the opportune moment to just take a moment and acknowledge what Coach Hugo Broos has done for South African football. Because he's a coach that when he was appointed, there were many question marks. Why Hugo Broos? Why this coach? He's too old to be coaching Bafana. He won't understand the style of South African football. But we look at what this team has achieved with him at the helm, alongside Helman Mkelele as his assistant. We talk about the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire, coming back home with a bronze medal. We talk about qualifying for the World Cup. And he even said, if we don't qualify, kill me. Because that's the amount of faith he had in Team South Africa. And not only do we go to the World Cup, qualifying, not as hosts, as qualifiers, finishing top of a group that had the likes of Nigeria, where no one gave us a chance. And now we are into the knockout stage. So, Madala, I know here at SABC Sport, a lot of people make a joke about him being my best friend. But let's talk about Coach Hugo.
You know, the one thing I like about Coach Hugo is that he's a man of integrity. So when he came and he got the job to coach Bafana, and I always watched his interviews on SABC when he was selecting teams, he didn't listen to anyone. He picked players accordingly on how he wanted his team to function. And that's what I like about him, you know, because sometimes when you get a coaching job and you're always determined, you know, from either people behind you who tells you who to pick, how to pick and how to play. And he didn't do that. He did it his way, you know. And sometimes I used to laugh when he gives his interviews and he select players, you know, and you get the press criticize him, why he selected this player and that player. And it showed clearly, you know, it paid out at the end of the day, at the African Nations Cup, now at this World Cup. And this is why I think the players have a lot of respect for him and why they will die for this kind of coach. Yeah.
Let's bring you in, Doc, to this conversation, because so often we come from a country where everyone is a coach. We all think we know who should be the starting 11, who should be on the bench. But sometimes it's not just about who the best possible 11 are or the best 23 or 26. It's about the players that you know can give you the type of football that you want.
Yeah, you're correct when you say the type of players that you want. The formation is the one that makes players. And at some stage when he started, yes, of course, he didn't know much about players. So he just picked those players that he thought, you know. And one game that comes to mind vividly is when we played Ghana away. And he had Ethan Brook. And came back, you know, I don't want to be going backwards because now we're on the right track. So he learned all the time when he was here in South Africa up until today where he got it right. And there was a time when he said, even a fool, he changes his mind. We understand? So now,
Yes.
that means, you remember.
I was interviewing him, yes.
So already, this is when I'm like, oh, okay. Now he understands which kind of players he wants. And he brought back Umshishi. But then from there, he built a solid squad, core of Bafana that you see today. And he brought in a little bit of certain players. Somehow there are certain players who fall out of his favor and all that. But he's a guy that does things the way he wants them. But at the end of the day, there's only one thing that I really want to say thank you to him, the disciplining of the players. Yeah. Because that is the thing that brought back our DNA. He allowed it on the field, but off the field, there are certain things that he didn't like, and he made sure he about discipline.
Yeah.
But here he is. He has made history. Firstly, AFCON in Ivory Coast, bronze. And then the second one, we qualified, but we lost to Cameroon.
AFCON qualifications.
And then we had a problem. City qualifier, what one, no points, yellow card, what. But umsindo abantu na baba ku 32.
They are in the 32. You look at Coach Hugo Broos, a disciplinarian of note, a man that shoots from the hip. But something else I love about him, he's brought back the love of Bafana to South Africa.
Definitely.
When did we think South Africans will wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning to watch a Bafana build-up and a kickoff that's at 3 a.m.? Let's remind you once again how South Africa made history here this morning.
Skipper, just explain the emotions after that final whistle, keeping a clean sheet and going through to the next round of the competition.
Amazing. I'm lost for words. I honestly don't know what to say. I don't know if there's a better word than proud. I'm super proud. I'm ecstatic. Just for what this team has been through. The doubt, the doubters, the stress that we've gone through. To play at this elite level, it's not easy. To keep a clean sheet against such quality opposition, to perform the way we did, defend the way we did, speaks volumes of the character of this team. We were under siege, but we stayed strong. The mentality and the character in these boys. I mean, I'm scared for the future of this country. These boys are 20, 19, 21 years old playing at this level. I'm an old head already, so the experience that they are gaining will only help us as a country, but amazing. I'm just happy, so happy, proud to be a leader of this team.
And there's also the element of passing the early test. I mean, the previous games you conceded early, but after 15, 16 minutes, 20 minutes, 30, you grew into the game.
I mean, every game, we go in and we say critical phase. When is critical phase? The first 15 minutes. And we extended that and we've said, let's try and be super focused up until that first water break, which is around the 24th, 25th. But it wasn't to be. Maybe it was nerves, we couldn't deal with it. But today, we showed our character. But again, we could have gone one down after the first 3 minutes on a set play. So we need to be stronger and learn. And just show the grit from the first minute. I mean, from the first second. You know, just show that we are here to compete and to fight. But I'm just glad of the boys, you know, not conceding today. Oh, amazing. A clean sheet at the World Cup. Amazing.
What did the coach say at halftime and during those hydration breaks? Because when the camera panned to him, he looked like he was going to have a heart attack.
Yeah, obviously when you plan and you analyze and you see the things coming out in the game, but to deal with it, sometimes it takes more than knowing what's happening. You need that grit, that extra legs, because they overload on the sides, and sometimes we were caught out. And he said, guys, they are making a lot of exchanges. Our handover needs to be spot on, because sometimes our fullbacks are jumping in and their wingbacks are going. But I think in the second half, you know, we gave them space away from the goal. You know, they wanted to play through the middle because they put 5 across your line. And it's so difficult, you know, with their wingers coming inside. But we said, look, we can't defend everything. let's give them the width, let them cross, and we will deal with the crosses inside the box. And amazing, Mbokazi, 20 years old, Imi, 21, 22 years old, dealing with... amazing. I'm just so proud of these boys. Thank you so much.
Gents.